I'm Dr. Eric Stribling with Arizona State University's Interplanetary Initiative, and welcome to the season finale of Space for Humans. We are here at VidCon! The world's premier conference for digital content creation, and we are here with a team from Arizona State University to learn more how to take knowledge out of the ivory tower and into your home. In this episode, we are going to summarize all of the things that we've learned in Season 1. And before we get to that, I kind of need to take a bathroom break. Over to you, Eric. Thanks, Eric. At Space for Humans, we know that you don't have to go to space to feel its impact. And no, not because an asteroid is coming to get you. Season 1 was all about understanding how different groups of people are affected by decisions made in space exploration. In each episode, we looked at the perspectives of these groups, from women to people with disabilities to children. And we explored how space design choices impact them both now and in the future. In our first episode, with the help of our good friend retired astronaut Katie Coleman, we explored how design choices can be either inclusive or exclusive. When we design something, we often imagine who will use it, and that picture in our heads of the user shapes the choices we make, and those choices can leave a lot of people out. As we learned, space designs haven't always considered women, their experiences, perspectives, wants, and needs. But that's changing. We looked at the example of NASA's space toilet.
There's like some foot straps, a little shoulder lever. Not very comfortable, but hey, practical.
Which they redesigned based on feedback from women astronauts. Next, we launched into microgravity with the Astro Access Project, a parabolic flight that studied how to accommodate people with different disabilities in spaceflight. As our friend Ann Kapusta explained, inclusive design is not that expensive or difficult when you do it from the beginning. And here's the really exciting part. Inclusive design benefits everyone in ways that are often surprising.
Another one is closed captioning here on Earth. Closed captioning was originally invented for the deaf community. You know who the biggest user of closed captioning is here on Earth? Sports bars.
In episode 3, we looked at the effects of the space industry's supply chains on the global south. Mined resources from cobalt to tantalum are used in a variety of space technologies, so the future of space exploration depends on the ability to source them both ethically and sustainably. And that's also a kind of inclusive design. Where are you getting your design materials, and how are you impacting those local communities? Think about it. Space exploration reminds us that we're all together on one big, beautiful planet. So when we think about the impacts of our choices, we need to think globally. Next, we went back to the early years of space exploration, when only people deemed to have the right stuff could be astronauts, and NASA sought men who were tough under pressure. But space is a pretty isolating place. And history shows that even tough guys struggle with mental health. They get angry and sad and lonely. So as more people and different people go to space, how can we keep mental health in the design equation? One idea, a little extra room in the payload for personal items that prioritize comfort, connection, and play, like a gorilla suit. So far, we've talked primarily about design choices, but inclusive design also incorporates who is represented and involved in the design process. In our 5th episode, we explored how NASA is putting its principles into practice with the Equity Action Plan, which is taking great steps to diversify the space industry. The space industry is poised to be central to humanity's future, so it's vital that we make sure that we're not leaving anyone out in each part of the process, from supply to research to design and beyond. Finally, we turned our focus to one really challenging group to design for: kids! We worry a lot about how new technologies impact children, and for a good reason. The impacts of technology are magnified during child development when kids' brains are growing every day, and things like play and peer connection are vital. In space, every aspect of life is completely dependent on technology. But the good news is technology is a tool, and even on Earth, it can be designed to support child development. So while space travel isn't safe for kids quite yet, space technologies like satellite broadband are helping support them right now to connect them with peers and access education. So that wraps up our first season, where we learned all about making inclusive design choices that make space for everyone. In building this season, we drew on some frameworks from the field of ethical engineering design, like inclusive design, universal design, and decolonial design. Many of these frameworks use similar tools, including what's called stakeholder analysis, where you identify different diverse groups who might be impacted by a technology differently and seek to take their perspective. And Season 1 was basically an example of a stakeholder analysis where we took the perspective of common stakeholder groups, like women, children, and disabled people, and analyzed how historic space design decisions impacted them in the past and continue to impact them today. There's a growing movement within the field of engineering to develop a design process that's more inclusive and more likely to lead to positive outcomes. And that's a major reason why we created this channel. We believe that humanity has a unique opportunity to engineer new space technologies in a way that's ethical, inclusive, and sustainable. But that window of opportunity is closing. You see, one issue is that engineering designs tend to be sticky, and once a design decision is made, it often continues. Later design choices are often based on those first decisions, no matter how inclusive or efficient they were. This idea is known as path dependency. It gets harder to move away from an existing path once designs reach scale, meaning they're being used by lots and lots of people in everyday life. Like our cell phones. And that's why thinking about how to design for inclusive space futures now is so important, before we're all complaining about the space traffic on our morning commute to Mars. So we've thought about different groups of people and how design choices impact them. So what happens when you create this wonderful inclusive new design and give it to users? Back to you, Eric.
So predicting how humans will use new technologies is very difficult. And VidCon is actually a perfect example.
Did you know that the technology behind the cell phone camera was developed by NASA? Engineer Eric Fossum at California's Jet Propulsion Laboratory created digital image sensors for use on interplanetary missions. These pixel sensors completely revolutionized image capture, allowing for smaller and more power-efficient cameras. Soon, the technology was adapted by the automotive and dental industries, and then, came an idea from a Japanese telecommunications company. What if teens had a way to easily snap and share images of their favorite clothes and accessories and brunch? That's right! An early version of the camera phone was designed for outfit inspo.
I don't rely on mirrors, so I always take Polaroids.
And as you can see, that was only the beginning. We are talking about the ethical implications of designs, and designs are sticky. Once they are used, subsequent designs are often based on them. Today we're going to talk about how users often use technologies in ways that the designers didn't predict. And to answer that question, we're going to talk to Talking Toilets.
Mel is our expert on all things, pipes and toilets related.
Yes, I'm more of a terrestrial toilet.
That's true, but my friend, I didn't realize, of course, that, there's been such work involved in toilets in space, but naturally, everyone needs to do that function, don't they?
They certainly do. So, that's commendable.
So I hear that you have a lot of trouble with people not using you as you were designed.
Oh, it's terrible. Look at my beautiful pipes. They're clogged and broken.
What happened?
Mel and I have been working together for quite some time, and of course, he has a theory on who's responsible for all this damage. Mel, who do we think the culprit is?
The clog monster.
It is a typical MO, of course. We see this type of evidence in anywhere the clog monster strikes truthfully. So, really, the key piece on making sure all of your pipes stay clean and simple, Mel, what is it?
I think you make sure that you don't put anything that's supposed to go into the trash into the toilet. Now, if you see that do not flush symbol, you'll remember then it's telling you exactly what to do.
Absolutely right. On packaging, of course, and the types of packages that receive it, well, that's easy enough to do and follow. We're just asking folks to be thoughtful as they flush.
Exactly. Don't rush the flush.
On the elements where we see this symbol, of course, do not flush, that means that the fibers are long and they're plastic polymers that don't break down in a water-based system. They're designed to stay strong through the task they're formulated for, like a baby wipe, of course, or a makeup remover wipe, those key cleaning wipes as well. But of course, the types that are designed to break down in water, well, they're made of plant-based fibers that are shorter, and they can certainly dissipate in a water-based system, like the pipes you have in your home.
That's exactly right.
But shouldn't your users know how you are designed?
Well, I would certainly hope so, but that's why I'm here. I'm representing toilets everywhere.
Hoping that when they know better, they can do better.
Well, thank you so much, Detective Drains. I know so much more about toilets now.
Eric, such pleasure.
Oh,
We just
Eric.
knew that toilets were as much of a topic in space as they are.
It's amazing, really.
Thanks again, Eric. Thank you so much. Thank you. So how do we better predict how people will actually use designs before the drains are clogged? In Season 2, we'll explore some of the common tools in ethical and inclusive engineering and how to use them. These tools have a proven track record of producing better designs that more accurately predict outcomes. While each one of them is unique, they all emphasize the idea that involving more people and understanding diverse perspectives leads to better engineering work. Because despite a rigorous curriculum of math and science, in the end, engineering designs are meant for humans, including humans in space. Back to you, Eric.
From space toilets to Earth toilets and back. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey as we wipe up Season 1. And remember to like, share, subscribe for more Space for Humans.
Educators, would you like to learn more about how you can bring Space for Humans into your classroom? Check out Space Futures Forward at the link in the description. Hi! If you're new here, we're Space for Humans, and we explore positive space futures. Subscribe for more. Like, share, subscribe! Because despite a chicken bone in the mouth,